Jensen, Ackles.
Hi.
Oh, I love that shirt.
Oh, yeah. The old school.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, nice. Look at that. I feel like a newscaster tonight.
We didn't really get your perspective in the panel on sort of Cass's new human state. How do you think Dean's going to feel about that, and how's that going to affect their relationship?
It's a good question. We've only done one episode so far, and I've read the first three, and it's at this point I think that they've got such a big issue to deal with that trying to understand the effects of Cass's situation is kind of a bit on the back burner right now. I think Dean's was like, we'll deal with that later. We got bigger problems. But it is going to be interesting because for somebody that has been such a valuable tool to Sam and Dean over the years. He's essentially useless as a power tool, and especially with the fact that there are now fallen angels walking among us. To have an angel on your team would have been very beneficial, but now we just have a backseat driver. So it'll be interesting how their relationship kind of evolves given his new lack of skills.
So Dean won't be teaching them how to fetch the toilet.
No, I'm going to let them figure that one out by himself.
Dean's also seen a version of Cass without power at the end of the world.
Yes.
Is that going to come into play at all? Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know. Again, I think it's something that they're going to have to figure out together. It's going to be interesting, having to pick up a phone and call him and talk to him as opposed to praying to him. There's a lot of elements that are really going to be different for both of them, for all three of them actually, given the relationship and the nature of what the situation is. So, it'll be interesting to see how that one develops.
Do you have a good grasp on what Dean's plot is for season 9, or arc?
Not the big arc. I think at this point, they are they're opening up a lot of doors, and they're going to see which one really kind of sticks. I think they have a general understanding of where we're going and how we're going to get there, but it's as far as specifics go, they haven't let me in on a lot of that stuff. I do know that given the fact that the brothers chose each other essentially instead of closing the gates of hell, and that is now given them a lot to deal with. So they've got angels, they've got demons, and they've got all the other stuff in between to now deal with, and they've got to somehow figure out how to navigate the terrain with all the new elements. So I think that they're really going to need each other more than ever at this point, and they're going to have to rely on each other more than ever, which is going to be difficult because there is a secret that Dean is harboring right now from Sam that is one of the bigger issues of the series. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well. They haven't told me, so I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
For so many seasons, there was that conflict between Sam and Dean that even though they worked together and they would sometimes go apart, they always came back together for the job.
Right.
And as you said, now that they've chosen each other, is there an element of that conflict that's still going to kind of be in the background? Personally, I like the fact that they've now chosen each other.
So do I. I think that there's always this kind of struggle between the two of them. Where one of them has a kind of a clear idea of what they should be doing, and the other is maybe kind of dragging his heels a little bit. And I think the motivation kind of switches from brother to brother, from season to season. You never kind of have them both, on the same page, so to speak. And that struggle makes for good TV. It makes for good, good story. But now that they're going to have so much struggle, I think that they're really going to have to unite, and I kind of like that too. I like, because every now and again they get on the same page, and I think the fans really like it. We really like it because it's, but then a wrench has got to get thrown in the mix. And with that said, there is a massive wrench in the mix. It's just that Sam doesn't quite know it yet. So I think that for right now, they're on the same page. We'll see how long that lasts.
What can you say about the plotted episode you're directing? Where it sort of falls in the season. Is it the third one?
No, I'm not directing this year. Well, not yet. They haven't given me one. I decided not to do. I usually direct the first one out of the gate because I have a 7-week-old daughter. And I opted to stay home with the newborn instead this year. But there's still a few episodes that are not slated yet with directors. And I think they're trying to figure out if they can slide me in there storyline-wise, because they really have to write me extremely light for the episode prior to the one I direct, so that I can prep it. Because prepping is really that's where all the work goes into. It's kind of like, to me, directing is like the final exam. So it's all studying and quizzing and all of that stuff is the prep. So that's really the hard work. If you prepare yourself, then you should be able to ace the test. If you don't prepare yourself, then you're gonna fail.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.